Hello, everyone. Welcome to Green Dragons Gaming. Without us, they never feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So, again, we're based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. If you're up in the area, do me a favor, reach out to me either on from the channel, via YouTube, Sir MC 2015 up on the Ninth Age boards. Either myself or my group would be more than happy to get a game in with you. We're actually been playing up in Phoenixville, which is not far from Westchester, because that store is actually trying to build their tabletop gaming community, and we hope to be able to do that. So with that said, we had a small group go out to Colonial Carnage, and it was myself, Dan, Chris, and Ryan. Dan is the infamous Dan from the boards, and Chris is Red Fang. Ryan is Pretty Boy, and that was our group. So anyone who's watching the channel last few games known I have been playing my Aquitaine. I have not played Aquitaine for almost 2 years. Reason why is because Dan went out and got himself dwarves. So he's our dwarf player. Chris is playing Dread Elves, and Ryan is decided to turn around and take on his ogres. So I'm like, all right, well, this is the closest thing I have to. I mean, I can field a painted army currently, and let me go ahead and do a couple models and redo some, and in case I don't run out of time. And of course, that's what happened. I mean, you probably saw my last battle report. And our whole methodology is bring what you want to bring, what you want to bring, play what you want to play, do a well-rounded list. This way, there should be like nothing that's truly, oh my dear God, don't put me in front of that thing because I'm going to lose. Of course, there we are. Game 1. What do I go up against? Demon Legions with a Scourge of Wrath. And I wish I wrote down the lists in this presentation, but I neglected to do so, so I greatly do apologize. If you're looking for his list, he is part of CGL Team 1. Mike, and you can get his list from War Gaming from the Balcony. And actually, I'll try to, as a later thought, I can turn around and put the list in the description. So I think I will do so. And so there is that. It's 4,500 points. It's version 2.0. This is all pretty hotfix, and it's a bloodbath. I mean, I'm sitting there going, I looked at my captain like, why me? He's like, who else could deal with that thing? Like, I don't care. Why me? It's a scourge. It's going to eat me. And he's like, you can do it, Mark. You can do it. So here's how the board looks. So the board is Breakthrough, and going from left to right, he has a unit of Furies. He's got a unit of I don't know what I know what they used to be called, but the Demons of Wrath or whatever they are now. Then he's got the not Crushers, but whatever their equivalents are in Demon's Army. He's got a cannon. He's got his which is being represented by another Crusher model on the proper size base. He has his Scourge. He's got another unit of Bloodletters. He's got another cannon. I'm sorry, the one cannon actually is a cannon. The other cannon is the one with the Scourge on the right size base. And then he's got another unit of Furies. So he turns around, and I ended up praying because there's a lot of AP3 in this army. And I'm going to need it. That's all I can say is I'm going to need it. I turn around, and he gets first turn. He goes and tries to chaff me up on the left, and he puts that other unit out on the right, going, all right, I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to, if you want to come after the Furies, great, take something out of the game for at least a couple turns. Otherwise, I'm going to go eat your War Machines, because his Scourge actually does have to be worried about those War Machines, because the bolt throwers are D3 plus 1 with clip wings. So they have the potential to, the one actually hits on 5s because he's got cover. The other one hits on a 5 because of range. But if they hit, they have a 50% chance to cause a wound because it's only T6. He has no armor from that, and then it has potential of doing 5 wounds, and he can't get them back. As it is, he does his. I'm not sure if he does magic or shooting or something. I'm trying to remember what the heck he did, but he ends up putting a couple wounds on that one bolt thrower, the Scorpion, as it should be called. And here's the end of my turn for my movement. So on the upper left, he didn't think I was going to, but I charged the flank, and he's like, "Okay, I'm happy with that." I'm like, "You're happy with that? Okay." Because I also because the I don't know, the Crusher Knights turn around, they cause fear. So now I went from movement 8 to movement 10 with that unit, and I go charging in. The reason why I didn't want to set myself up to go against that Bloodthirst or the Scourge is the bus is so long that then would have given him a flank, and I could not get my peasants up there to chaff him. Okay, I was definitely at a negative there, and meanwhile, I kept one unit of peasant yeoman back just in case I needed them to turn around and do some more chaffing. I didn't want to just throw them out to the wolves quite yet, and I did take him up on his offer to turn around and go kill the Furies. So, needless to say, the Black Knights on the left are the Knight Aspirants. They make short work of the Furies between the rank, combat, the wounds. I think I only did 2 wounds, but then the combat res, the banner, the flank, the big flank, that unit goes poof. That unit over there also went poof, and then the Knights overran and hit that flank. And he's like, okay, you move straight. Like, no, you declare a new charge. So they turn around, they moved up, they pivot, or not they pivot, they wheel, they move up, they hit, they pivot again, and it's like, that's how they hit. And he goes, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. So he turns around, and then we do that combat. What happened to my Knights of the Quest? I don't know why they're not in this picture, but I blew up his unit. Ah, I know why. You'll see why in just a moment. So he turns around and so I blew him up. I chaff up the one unit of his one cannon there with my knights. And what he did is he could actually see the tail end. I didn't think he could, but we double checked. I'm like, dude, I screwed up. You know, more power to you. He can turn around. He saw the rear end of my unit of knights, and he declared that charge. I'm like, yeah, they flee. So they end up popping out the other side of my Knights of Forlorn. Now, before you're going, my God, what were you thinking? He had already declared his charge with his Scourge, in which case I also think I got out of his charge range with the Scourge as well anyway. And he had nothing that could then push them off the board. And what else? What else? So, yeah. So that was that. So here they are. They're almost off the board. And he did choose to charge my chaff that was there. They fled. He could have tried to redirect, but it was out of range, so he had to pursue them. I went maybe like 7 inches. He needed a high number. He caught me. I didn't care that he caught them, and then could do a leadership check, and then do a combat reform or combat pivot. The reason why is they're infantry. They're only speed 4 or 5, and they're all the way out there. I have another unit of chaff that's set up just to slow them down, protect that flank. So I'm a happy camper. So again, they're the Knights of the Quest going, run away, Sir Robin, Sir Robin. So instead, he redirects his his Scourge into the Knight Aspirants, and he charges his cannon into them as well. I'm going, well, you know, they're young, they're meant to die. They're not quite as bad as peasants. The problem was, and you'll see this in the next pick, or actually you'll see it right here, they lived. He killed 3 from the impact hits, and that Scourge killed 3 knights. He rolled poorly, I rolled hot. He only killed 3 knights. And then he pursued me. They rallied. The knights of the quest rallied, and going from the hill, granted, was a frontal charge. That other unit turned around and got into the slaughterers up there. So there's a picture of that charge. As I said, they rallied, and they rallied as well. And here you can see I have him chaffed up again, up at the top, using my other unit. So what's going to happen here? Close combat. Man, did he get lucky on dice. I hit, I wounded, and I killed 2 with impact hits. I had 15 impact hits. I killed 2. He rolled so many 5s. I'm like, dice hate me. But after the knights and everything else crumbled, that's that. So here's his movement after his turn. Trying to remember how the heck I made this all happen. So the Knights of the Quest turn around. They declared that charge on the chariot all the way up the top, and my Knight Aspirants are there. Down below, still have two Knight Aspirants, and then I had the Forlorn charge the flank of his great big monster. I lost 2 Forlorn, I lost 3 Knights, and as you can see, I have Healing Waters and Stone Skin up on his buffs, and that is saving my bacon. He turned around, he's like, all right, well, let's go ahead, let's throw the chariot in there now to try to kill those Knights. Over here, Slaughterers only managed to kill, or they finally killed both of my Knights. He may have just killed them. But meanwhile, I killed him. My Knights were facing the opposite way. He got his chariot in, but because of the buff of Stone Skin, and I think I challenged out his character, and he tried saying, he's like, okay, I want to accept with my character up in front. Like, you can't do that. The Forlorn issued the challenge. You have to be touching that unit to accept that challenge. You can't have a unit granted in the same combat, but 2 units over cannot accept that challenge. It has to be touching that unit. And so that took the Scourge out. Granted, he's going to get combat res, but I'm steadfast everywhere. And the Knights of the Realm care, but I'm steadfast on an 8 because of my general, my BSB, so I'm getting rerolls. And then the next turn, after all my unit champs are gone, because he kept killing my unit champ. I kept challenging him out, or I kept trying. He had another character in that first unit that was accepting a challenge, so I kept trying to challenge him out with my unit champs. Finally, I get in my my Duke's bus. I challenge him out again with my unit champion, and he doesn't do that many wounds to him because of all the buffs I had up. As you can see, I kept putting Knights back on the board. Down below, he cleared out one of my bolt throwers. And as I said, our scenario, that unit's not up there on that hill in the back. He was just getting his stuff together. With that said, I mean, I charge rear, big rear, 3 ranks, flank, big flank, and 4 banners. And he's like, if I roll Snake Eyes, I can stay. And he rolls like 11. He's like, yeah, or 9. He's like, that's game. Following turn, because this wasn't even turn 6, I just, after that combat, I pivot and both my units get into his deployment zone for breakthrough. So granted, he's got his 1 unit in my deployment zone. I get into his deployment zone with 2 units, so I win secondary objective. And he's like, "All right, well, how many points did I get? You know, I got the Scorpion, I've got your Aspirant, I got your 2 units of Fast Cav. How many points? It's less than 1,000. It's about 800." He goes, "You're kidding me. Like, I'm sorry. It's not that much." So needless to say, that was a victory. It was a crushing victory. It was 20-0, but he's such a great player. He was so much fun to play against, playing with CGL. And for me, the MVPs there was the Demon Legion, the Slaughters, and for myself, it was my Damsel. Because without that Damsel, turn around, bringing back the Knights, getting those spells off, that's game. That Scourge is blowing through me, eating me alive. I mean, I did have some other tools that could deal with him, but that's what saved my bacon. And that's it. And I mean, even the Knights of the Realm did their job really, really well. The Knights of the Quest, getting off those long bomb charges because he caused fear, so getting those +2 inches, that was key as well. And just going back, I mean, yeah, the one Scorpion on the back right, just next to the hill, that one's still alive. That just simply was moving to get away, so that that other unit couldn't see him. In retrospect, I should have tried to bait him to try to charge them, but you know, oh well, c'est la vie. That's it. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Please definitely feel free to post and ask. And until next time, happy gaming.